feel like guys just don't approach girls anymore.
Why can't guys make the first move anymore? Don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with making the first move, but why can't they do it?
Guys, men used to go to war and now they look at you weird when you approach them at the bar because all they did was stand around and stare at the wall all night.
Women all over the world are dressing up, stepping out, giving green lights, and still going home alone. They're smiling, they're waiting, and nothing happens. They post about it. They make TikToks about it. Some even go viral saying, "Can we please bring back the men that are walking up to women?" But you know what most men say back? Nope, I'm good.
Men don't ask girls out anymore. All they do is they look at you from across the room and they're like, "Oh, she's pretty. I bet that's my wife." And then they take out their phones and look at basketball clips on YouTube Shorts. And they're like, "Oh, nice." And honestly, I think that's why the birth rate is dropping.
So they are so self-conscious about everything they do and say with the opposite sex that they're no longer approaching girls. They're not asking girls out. And I don't know. I guess they're just hiding in their rooms on their PS5s, becoming incels. So don't worry about the digital. Go analog. Look her in the eye. Ask her out. If she says no, that's okay. It wasn't meant to be. And my dad always said, you're never going to dance with the prom queen unless you tap her on the shoulder. So go tap someone's shoulder and then tap that ass.
Women have told men for over 50 years to leave them alone. So now women have to approach men and they can't handle it. Men used to learn game, work up the courage to approach women, and they would approach women at work, in public, in the bars. And it's really natural for men to be the hunters, especially when trying to find a potential partner. But those days are gone. And let's look at a woman's reaction when she got rejected after approaching a guy.
Hey, I was wondering if I can get your number by any chance. What about you?
You want my number?
Yeah.
I'm the second option.
It's not desperate or pathetic to want to find a partner or someone to love, or there is that kind of energy where it's like, look at me, I'm here on display and I'm waiting for you to claim me. And it's just like, ooh, I don't like that. Like, why can't we just be like cool first? Like, don't.
I wish we'd go back to when guys are just always walking up to you when you're out. Like, could you imagine? Oh my gosh, if you're like at the grocery store, at the gym, they're like, "Hi, I just couldn't help but say you're so beautiful." Like, I'd love to take you out sometime if you're single. If they were like good looking, I'm like, can we go back to those times? But because like society has more and more changed women to be like the chasers or like things like this, it's like making a lot of men be like, oh, I can just sit back. And I'm like, I hate that.
Serious question for my mans out there. Why are you guys not approaching women? What is that about? What is that about? I have seen so many hot guys lately, and we make eyes, we exchange the look, we have the look, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, are you gonna come approach me? Hello, I don't want to be the one to approach you, okay? Because that's not my man's. My man's has, you know, the balls that he has, and he's not afraid to come up to me and say something, say hello. So if you're a man out there, you know, you guys have balls for a reason. Use them. And don't be afraid to approach women, because we don't want to do that, you know? This is just a pro tip, okay? Chime in.
I'd love to see this study. Now, I don't know if this is true or not based off the comment, but if it is true, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's a combination of many factors: COVID, technology, isolation, loneliness, all the things that probably have contributed to this statistic. But now that we have the awareness, how can we encourage people to approach others in a kind, respectful way? I think fear is really what holds us back at the end of the day. So how can we encourage people to not let fear get the best of them and to shoot their shot in life? And this can go with romantic relationships, but even platonic ones. A lot of people complain how it's so hard to meet new friends and make new friends. But how often are people actually putting themselves out there to initiate the start of a friendship when that friendship is not from a shared social circle or just matter of convenience and proximity? We need to start approaching other people in a kind, respectful, and easy way. After all, we're wired to be social creatures.
Question for the men. Why is it that nowadays men don't tend to approach women in public anymore? I feel like back in the day, 90s, 2000s, it was so common for men to just come up to women and be like, hey, what's your name? Want to grab a drink? And that completely stopped. Why is that?
Men are extremely logical thinkers, which means that the benefits have to outweigh the risks. And today, I'm sorry, ladies, in most cases, the benefits of approaching you do not outweigh the risks. Because men are listening to the ladies, and what they are seeing and hearing is that women do not want to be approached unless it happens to be the type of man that she does want to be approached by. But even in those cases, even if that man is that man, he, in most cases, does not think that he's that man. But even if he thinks that he is that man, he's going to have a very difficult time approaching you unless you make it very obvious or you approach him first. Because if he's wrong, not only does he deal with the rejection, because he can deal with that. I mean, men 20, 30 years ago dealt with it just fine. But the difference today is that women have more of an attitude and they get offended if the man that approaches them isn't the man that they want to be approached by. And simply put, women are mean. They are oftentimes going to label that man as a creep. And even worse, there are video cameras everywhere, which means that if she catches it on camera, if she gets it recorded onto her phone, guess where it's going to end up? On social media. And then that man's worst nightmare has happened because now multiple people think that he's somebody that he's not.